And that says, what they're capable of too.
That's correct.
They were able to win those games despite the fact that they did not play dominant football.
Let's bring in the man from Fox 29, 10-year veteran, our friend G. Cobb. G. Cobb, man, tale of two halves. Boy, I'll tell you, man, if you're relying on Jason Kelce to drop a pass and a guy to get a blocked field goal, and you're in games where you have that kind of talent, I don't know. You come out of that game 3-0, which is the best part of this. How did you see this, and give me your takeaways on what you saw here on Sunday?
Well, the start of the game, I mean, you hit it on the head. I mean, the first half was just putrid. I mean, it just smelled because, you didn't see an aggressive offense. You couldn't throw the ball, or you can't run the ball. Really, they dominated, and I knew that I expected that the Rams were going to come out and play well because they've been thinking about this game. This is something which they felt like they were a team that they had really played the Eagles as well as anybody. Really, the toughest matches the Eagles had in the playoffs, the toughest match was against the Rams. The Rams were in the game. The Rams had the football and were marching with a chance to win the game. But the Eagles stopped them, and they were able to win. But the Rams were right there in the game. Some of those other games, they were blowouts. But the game they played against the Rams, that was a hard-fought game that went down to the wire. So,
Garry, I think the Rams have closed the gap, from the first one a year ago, then the playoff game, and then what we saw yesterday.
Yep.
I think if you're the Rams, you're coming out of that. You were too conservative on the field goals, but you're Sean McVay, man. I mean, I think you feel pretty good about yourself coming out of that football game because it was more you giving the game up than it was the Eagles. The Eagles, they took the game from you because you allowed them to take the game from you.
Yeah, and the Eagles did, they made the plays down the stretch and everything, but for most of that game, that game was dominated by the Rams. It wasn't just where they were winning.
Right.
They were dominating the game. They were running the ball down the Eagles' throat, and they shut down Barkley. Saquon wasn't doing anything. So, the Eagles go into every game where they're trying to run the ball, and they continue to try to run it without success. And so, they got to talk about what they're doing. They got to, because the Rams were able to match everything that they did. But in the second half, they got going with the passing game and some of the one-on-one matchups, where AJ was able to take advantage of some things, and they were able to get that passing game going. And Jalen, he was making good decisions about where he's going with the ball and everything. But they got certain matchups which they have people that they expect to win a one-on-one matchup, both, AJ and Devontae. So, they were going to them with success. It's not like they were just killing the Rams, but they were able to get some big plays, and they got the passing attack going and everything. But the Rams, I got to give them credit. They're a good football team.
That's a good team.
They're a good team, and they're a team that if I look at the rest of the NFC, I don't see who else I put up there that high, next to the Eagles. So I say the Rams they're going to have to deal with the Rams again.
Garry, for me, I mean, you tell me what you've seen. Saquon Barkley just doesn't look the same. Now, is it the personnel around him? Like you take the yardage away from the quarterback getting yards in the last couple of games. They're under 100 yards in 3 of the 4 games.
Yeah.
I mean, and yesterday they only had 46 yards rushing with somebody not named Jalen Hurts as a unit. You're telling me you have the best O-line. Well, the quarterback was getting destroyed. I get it. Lane went out. That was a huge deal. But that was coming from the backside. And that was Mulatto over there giving up one of those. And then also Barkley missed the block, which almost got him decapitated. I mean, what's going on with him, the O-line? They're not playing well.
They're not playing well. I mean, that's what it comes down to right now. They got to step up their game. I know that going into it, I don't know, they've lost their focus or whatever it is. but they have not played as well. I think that they have to admit that. And really the fact that they're 3-0,
incredibly great.
That's a miracle. Come on,
miracle. It's wonderful
because they could have lost each one of them. Really, each game. You look at the Cowboys game. CD Lamb, he personally gave that game to the Eagles.
Well, think about it, Gary. Every team had the last opportunity to win it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Wasn't like they blew a team out with the talent.
No.
They should have. Dallas is not very good.
Yeah.
Kansas City is limited, and the team you played yesterday is a really good team, and they kicked your ass for 3 quarters. I mean, 2.5 quarters, they kicked your ass.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really, in theory, they've really probably only played a half of a football game at best.
And that says what they're capable of too.
That's correct.
They were able to win those games despite the fact that they did not play dominant football. Now, the good thing about it is, look, they got room for improvement.
Completely true.
They got to play better. They know they got to play better. I mean, come on. When I could see the guys in the locker room, they were happy, but then they had that look on their face. They know. You know what Mondays are when you know what you put on tape and you got to hear your coach in your ear. Yeah. We can't play. We got to play better than this. What is such and such? What is going on? What is this here? And they're just grilling you, and talking and being honest though, because they know you got to play better if you want to get to where you want to get to. You guys are going to have to play better. And I will say this, that I guess the biggest thing that I looked at is that, Jalen was putting that ball on the money to his guys, making good decisions. And really, that's really what got him back into the game.
What was the difference from the first half and second half, in your opinion? Was it they were forcing the ball to AJ and it was working?
Well, in some ways with one-on-one, they basically say, almost coming out saying, hey, well, look, if we see you one-on-one, we're going to you.
Like what was the biggest, what changed the curtain? You go out, it's like you changed clothes.
Well, in the first half, they were continuing to try to run the ball. They continued, we're running the ball. They come out that we're going to run the ball. We're going to run the ball. And I think they got to get to the point where, look, if people are going to put all those people up there, you got to throw the football.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. And, every time, whether it's during the practice, during the week when they talk or after the game, I'm sitting there every time with AJ Brown. He's been, having putting tape over his mouth, to try to try not to say. Now, sometimes people take things the wrong way. Of course, we know about Michael Irvin years ago. A great player is going, come on, he wants the ball.
Yeah.
And you want him to want the ball. Do you want a great player where they don't want the ball? No. They want to be able to make plays for the team, and they want to win. It's not where they want to just get all. They figure, this guy cannot handle me. And really, that's what A.J. Brown showed, is that, maybe the guy could run with him, but the guy's half his size. Man, get out of the way, And that's what he can do. The guys that are his size.
Barkley looks like New York Giants Barkley right now.
Well, they are stacking the box though. They got people up there. You got extra guys coming up there, and they're saying we're not going to let the Eagles run on us. And at times, you got an extra guy up there, and plus they're attacking the line of scrimmage.
They are.
They're saying we are not going to let these guys run the ball. And if they want to commit like that, you need to throw the ball and chew them up through the air and make them pay. Now, I hope, they stopped Saquon, but they went home with an L. And that's what a good team has got to do. You're playing against pros. These are not kids off the street. These guys are pros. And if they stack the box, they can say, we're going to stop. We're not going to let Saquon beat us. But then again, we're going to be vulnerable to the pass. Okay, you guys want to be vulnerable to the pass? Okay, well, guess what? Congratulations, you stopped Saquon, but we're going to put a 50 on you, And that's what they need to do, is to have that kind of attitude and make people pay. If they think that they got a corner that can handle our receivers, fine. Because most of them don't. They don't. Those corners cannot play man-to-man and cover those guys. So you got to make people pay. And they really need to just take off all the reps and tell them, look, we want to be aggressive. Jalen, if you see opportunities out there, we want you to check out of it, throw the football. Because if teams we're going to stop Barkley, you can't keep on running. And, if you got 8 people there in that box, you can't. It's not real.
You're running into a wall. You're running into a wall, right? You're just running into a wall here.
Running right into a wall. That's right.
I got to ask you, man. Let's go over to the defensive side.
Yeah.
That's got to be Jordan Davis's best game that he's had as an Eagle.
Without a doubt. And I got to give him credit, in that he has put in the work. He's a different player. He's capable of running more because he is an outstanding athlete. But, the big thing is when you're carrying all that weight and he's as big as he is, like somebody said, well, he lost weight. Yeah, he lost weight, but he's still huge.
He's still 338 and he lost weight.
Hey,
he lost 20 pounds, Gary. He lost 20 pounds and he's still 340.
I know. And when he goes, like when you go in the locker room, you stand up, you're looking up at this dude, man.
I know. He's gargantuan.
But the kid, he's growing up. And this is good for him. I mean, like they drafted him in the first round and they wanted him to come in, and he's become a better player. He's a better pass rusher than he was. He shows that out there at practice, like during the training camp. He's beating guys because he's going to the line of scrimmage with a plan. He used to go to the line of scrimmage. I'm just going to push the guy back. That's not pass rushing, man. You got to have a game plan. You're going to attack one side. How are you going to do it? Because he's got the long arms. He got an arm advantage on guys, and he's strong as can be. So he's got the ability to do it, but he's got to up here. And he talks it now. Like when there are times when I talk to him, he talks like where he's thinking about how he's going to beat this guy and how he's going to attack the blocker and everything. And, he's growing into a professional pass rusher. And I think he's going to get better because he's working on it. They work during the week. He's working to get some good pass blockers, and he's learning to go there with a game plan, just like, you're a good player in other games. You go with the game plan. And
hey, Gary, it is a contract year, so let's hey, it is a contract year. They only picked up the 5th-year option, so
yeah.
You always get marvelous things. So maybe this was a motivator by Howie. Hey, we want you here. We think you can play instead of giving you the 3-year deal.
Yeah,
maybe that was the best thing they ever sent message to him, that they don't not like the player.
Yeah.
They just want the player to be more serious and grow up a bit. And maybe that's how the message was sent to him. Hey, look, we want you. Mm-hmm. Here's some money here. Here's the 5th year, but we're not going to extend you yet until you show us. And he is.
It was fair because they could have cut him. If they'd have wanted to,
or
but
traded him.
They see the talent, they see the potential, and the fact that he is, treating the whole thing like a professional, realizing that he can't do like he did in college at times where you're just running over people. You're not going to run over the guys at this level. No. You've got to have a game plan, and he's starting to put that together, and you're starting to see what kind of athlete he is, because he is extraordinary for the size he is. The kid can move, and I think that he's got room to get better. And then it's good because you got some competition there with him and Jalen. That they are.
Harry, I don't really think has had a really great start to his year so far. Outside of that blocked field goal, I thought he was okay yesterday. I don't think he was great, and obviously,
I would agree.
He was okay. Then he got thrown out in the Cowboy game, so not really the best defensive tackle interior has been Davis.
You're right. He's played better than Carter. I would agree with that. And but it's good because you got some competition, for him to play like that, it kind of pushes Jalen some, and Jalen needs some pushing, and you got to watch, living off what you did previously, we all play the game. You've had some success. You can waltz out there, whistling and like, hey, it's a piece of cake. No, because they won the Super Bowl, so every team that plays them, they got that game circled, because they know if they want to get accomplishments and regarded on a higher level, beat the Eagles. You come and beat the Eagles, and we're gonna go, hey man, these guys took it to the Eagles, man. Look at this. If a guy wants to get respect, he knows beat the team that won the championship. And that's what teams are going to do, and they're going to get teams' best game. Meaning, like the Rams came in there, they had a game plan for them. They were attacking them with their, their offensively, they were attacking them. And they can expect they're going to get that out of everybody, because, you won the championship. This goes along with the championship. You're going to get everybody's best effort, and they got to know that.
Hey, how about this? I just got a text message from Clint Hurt. So supposedly today, when they were in the locker room, he got done talking to the media, and he was getting ready to go in. And Nick called him over and, embraced him and started talking. And they were talking about, supposedly it all was over. Hey, man, I want to thank you for not blowing up the last couple of weeks. I know you've been frustrated, but you were a superstar on Sunday, this and that. I got to tell you, man, I think AJ's showing a lot of leadership, man, because he could really be a dick right now if he wanted to.
Yeah.
On how that offense is not looking good. It's only really played 2 quarters.
That's right.
You got to remember, man, he doesn't, he gets clumped in with all the rest of those wideouts.
Yep.
And all the wideouts are always wanting the ball. Sometimes I feel some of these wideouts would rather have the numbers than the wins. And I think he's got to look, because we get paid on production, Gary. Players don't really get paid on wins. You and me get paid on how we produce, the numbers we put up, how many games we play, percentage of plays. It's not really about wins. And so I think AJ's shown a lot of leadership, don't you? I think he has. I think he really has.
He really, and he's been, he doesn't want to. He didn't, and he said it. He doesn't want to emphasize it's not just about him. He wants to win. As long as they're winning, we want to win. At the same time, he knew, like in those earlier games, look, I want to win. We're not going to keep winning if they don't get me in this offense and get the ball to me, give me some opportunity to contribute, because I can hurt this other team and really open things up for everybody. So, he goes it, but he's been very level-headed about it. And of course, it hasn't been the easiest thing to do when you know the ability you have.
Yeah.
And you're not getting the opportunity to do that. So hopefully, we're going to see more and more of that. And but you talked about the who's calling the plays and all that. Now
who called the plays in the second half?
I can't say that I know.
So let me expand on that then. So Nick Sirianni tells everybody, this is my offense, no matter who the coordinator is, and I oversee the mentality. All right. So to get over, if that's Nick. Is Nick the one putting the straitjacket on Hurts? And is Nick the one putting the straitjacket on Kevin Patullo? Because, Gary, the second half was night and day.
I think to a degree they were. They want to, like they did last year, which is, utilizing Saquon and giving Saquon the ball and everything. But, people have been stacking the box. They're putting people up there. We're not going to let him get going. Now, you eventually have got to get a point. If people want to put that many people up there, the reason you went out, you got a guy making $34 million, wide receiver, another one making $25 million.
Yep, $51
you got the
million.
tight end making 14 or whatever. You got to let them do their job. And of course, you got a quarterback making 50. Look, we got to be able to move if they want to bring all these people up here, we got to be able to throw the ball on these guys. And if we can't, then we need to get new people in here, So they got to be aggressive. They got to go ahead and attack people through the air and throw the ball They can't say, "Oh no, we're a running team. We're running." Look, if they're going to stack the box, you got to play smart football, and so I expect to see them throwing the ball more. I hope that they that it was whoever it was calling the plays. I don't know, but I do know.
You think Chandler just said, "Hey, look, I'm going to take more emphasis of this thing here."
I think that he and probably the other guy said, "Look, man, we got to throw the ball. These guys are coming up here. This got nothing to do with Saquon. Look, they got 3 guys in the backfield. The time he touches the ball, we're going to try to run the ball against, this all these guys in the got 8 guys here in the box, man. Come on, we got to throw the ball on these guys because we can, and we could hurt them because I think some of the passes and everything and the consistency of the way they were able to move the ball in the second half, throwing the ball shows them they got to throw the ball. Throw the ball until people say, okay, all right, we're not going to put all these people in the box. You got to throw the ball on, man. You got to be able to where they give Jalen. I think they probably just gave him the freedom to say, look, we're going to call some of these run plays. You're able to check out of it. You see all those guys up there, check out of it, throw the ball. And that's pro football. Come on. You're not playing, like when I was at USC, let's say we go out, we play in this little school. It don't matter. Come on.
That's not San Jose, not San Jose State, right? Not JAKIB. You're not playing San Jose State here. I got it.
That's right. So you got to play, what is regarded as fundamentals, which is if they're going to stack this box, we're going to throw the ball on you, and you're going to make you pay too. We're going to make you pay for it. And you got receivers, and you went out, you got quality receivers. You got a quarterback that can get the ball to them. You got to go ahead and do it earlier, where you're not still trying to run the ball against that stacked box. No, we're going to make you get out of that because we put 21 points on the board or however much by the half. And so the other team's got to say, we got to play them honest. We're going to get blown out if we keep staying up there, letting them throw the ball like that. So, and they have good enough passing attack to be able to do that. So they got to be more aggressive and realize people are going to stack the box. We're going to throw the ball.
Finally, last one here for you. How do you think the defense has played in the first 3 weeks?
They got to get better. They haven't had a consistent pass rush,
right?
The run defense, that run defense was awful there. They were letting the Rams just gouge them with
160.
They gotta play much better. Just that simple. Guys got to get off blocks. I'm gonna go look at it again. I didn't really get a good look at it like I want to.
How do you think Bond played?
I didn't see him making a lot of plays against that run. I didn't see him getting in there. I think that
Mark Campbell. I thought I didn't see those guys at all in that game, really, until the second half when they needed some 3 and outs.
Yeah.
They got some 3 and outs late in the game again, like they did against Kansas City. But
that's right. They started attacking the line of scrimmage. Yeah. But they got to play better. I think it's very obvious that they know that. And we'll see if they do it or not, because they got to play much better than that. You can't be letting somebody run for 100 almost 200 yards on you. You can't. You're not going to win in the NFL like that. And then throwing what they want to throw, and you can't stop that either. So they know they got their work cut out for them, and they're going to get everybody's best effort. And they're going to get the other team's best game plan too. Meaning they've looked at what they're going to do, and they know they're going to get after him. So, that's what goes along with being champions.
You know what? I said this too, Gary. I went like this. I think they're playing C- C football. Mm-hmm. And everybody in Philadelphia starts moaning and crying. And I'm like, wait, if you think they're playing A+ football, that means there's no room for improvement.
That's right.
When we're saying that they're playing and they're 3-0 and they're playing this way and they're coaching in some situations like this, my opinion, that's a great thing that
It
they're
is.
playing seat, because if they're playing the best ball and that's the best of their ability, you got problems, man.
That's right.
Bigger problems. I think a lot of this stuff is self-inflicted. You know what I mean? Getting in shape, better situational play calling, getting healthier in some spots,
Yep.
and maybe just more reps, right? So
Yeah, I
this
think
stuff
more
can
reps.
get
And,
better.
the whole thing is, of course, on the offensive side, you do have execution,
You
and they,
do.
they show that they can execute that passing game, and go out and be effective. Defensively, they got to decide who's going to be up front, like who's the first unit up there. Maybe some of the guys they thought they're not as good as
Matt Pryor does not
know,
belong in that starting lineup.
who did you say?
Matt Pryor does not belong in that starting lineup.
Correct. Yeah. Well, that was obvious. Like that he definitely is not ready for the big boys. So
And Garry, on the defensive side, I think those edges were exposed a little bit because they ran that stretch play.
I think when a team starts running at somebody, aren't they telling you something?
Yeah, they're weak there.
They were running those outside zones.
Yep.
And they kept running them. It was very obvious. And I didn't see anybody really stop them real good. So they're telling you, those guys out there, they're kind of doing you a favor, telling you, this is what we think is the weakest thing you got out there, and run like that. So, by the end of the season, or as the season goes along, there are going to be changes. You're going to see people, all those get other opportunities to see if a guy can do better than some of the guys that are out there. And they've been very fortunate, but they know they're going to have to play much better if they want to achieve what they want to achieve this season. And you're going to see some changes as the season goes on.
All right, this weekend is Buccaneers. The Bucs have kicked their ass the last 2 times. They're a little banged up in the O-line. The Eagles are a little banged up in the offensive line. Todd Bowles seems to be the kryptonite to Jalen Hurts when it comes to pressure. And I'll tell you one thing we've seen a lot of, Garry. There's been a lot of pressure on Hurts in that pocket.
That's right.
And he's been back there, and he's been getting a hit a lot.
Yes.
You think this game's going to be a coin flip game by the time this thing starts up on Sunday? It's 2, 3-0 football teams. There's only 6 teams now in the league that are undefeated, and there's 2 of them that'll be playing on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
The winner of this game, you could theoretically come out of and go like this. Well, here's the best team in the NFC. Them and the Rams. I put the Rams in there too, like you said.
Yep. I think so. I think that this is going to be a tough game. When somebody beats you the way Tampa Bay has the last few times.
The weather.
Oh yeah, you're right. The weather, because the guys were sucking air pretty good in one of those other games. So this is going to be a challenge. But they knew this, but they're getting what they knew was going to come, because they won the championship. Everybody's circling. Okay, we're playing the Super Bowl champs this week. We're working on that game plan. We're going to start working on it in April.
Yeah.
You know the way those guys are. So they're looking at all your tape. They're making sure they got a good game plan for that game. And they're going to play some of their best football, because during training camp, they're working on some of those plays when they play the Eagles, and that goes along with the championship. You're going to get everybody's best, So you know that, because you guys went through that in college, and I remember going through that in college. The time the people were waiting on you, time you got to the airport. So you're going to get everybody's best effort, and that goes along with being the champion. So
I always thought some of those games were like, the games against Oklahoma or games against Penn State or these other guys, you're like, well, these guys are going to show up because they're good too.
That's
All
right.
of a sudden, we're playing East Carolina, and we're playing somebody like that, and I'm like, holy shit, they're one score bomb right there in the fourth quarter. Coaches are on your ass more after games like that.
That's right.
You're going like, you let that team hang in there with 10 points. I'm like, yeah, really.
That's right.
How did that happen? Garry should be interesting this weekend. Thank you, my friend. Make sure you check him out on Fox 29. Great stuff as always. Thank you,
All
Garry.
right. Okay.
All right, G-Cobb.